Hi, my name's John St. John's, and my company, Diabetes Education Centers of America, is all about educating people about diabetes. Today we're going to talk about maintaining your A1C level. Now, I made a huge mistake here about 3 or 4 months ago. Um, I got an A1C test done in October of 2022, and then I didn't get another A1C test done until April of 2023. And that was a big mistake on my part. My A1C in October of 2022 was 6.1, which was pretty good, being a type 2 diabetic. And I no longer take any prescription medication. And I just try to control my blood sugar level based on diet, exercise, and weight loss. And the last 4 years, I've lost about 60 pounds. And I exercise quite a bit. In fact, I do not own a car right now, so I walk everywhere, which is incredibly beneficial if you're a diabetic. And the job that I have a part-time job where I do an awful lot of walking. I probably walk 4 or 5 miles in an 8-hour shift. So exercise is unbelievably good, and I've noticed that the more I exercise, the easier it is to control my A1C. But the mistake I made was I went too long. You need to go every 3 months and get your A1C checked. Uh, and I went way too long. And so when I got around to checking in April of 2023, it had jumped to 7.1, which was not good. So it jumped a full point up. Also, I experiment a lot with what I can and cannot eat. And I know exactly what I was eating that made my A1C go up. So now I'm in the process of eliminating those items that I was eating and working on making sure that within the next 2 to 3 months I get another A1C test, because that's how I monitor my blood sugar. Your A1C is the most important part of the whole diabetes process. Most people that I talk to about diabetes do not know their A1C. Their primary care will actually put them on prescription diabetes medication, and whether they're on metformin or even insulin, and people will not know what their A1C is, or think that their finger prick is their A1C. And that's not the case. Diabetes Education Centers of America, right now, we're advocates for certified diabetes educators and endocrinologists. If you go to the website, you will read that information. But the goal in a few months is to hire a certified diabetes educator to actually put on the diabetes education classes or diabetes consultation classes. Uh, your A1C is everything. Your A1C measures your blood sugar over a 3 to 4 month period. And that's incredibly important because it tells the primary care or an endocrinologist how well your body is managing your blood sugar levels. And the lower your A1C, the less stress that's on your heart. It's not that complicated. You're basically trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your body, in your blood. And the best way to do that is to make dietary changes, exercise, and lose weight. If you can do that, then you reduce the amount of stress on your heart. If you're a diabetic and if you find my YouTube channel and you're looking for information on diabetes, you need to find out what your A1C is. And you need to have your A1C as low as possible. That puts an awful lot less stress on your heart, and that puts a lot less stress on your kidneys in the process. It puts an awful lot, it eliminates a lot of stress on your optic nerves in your eye. It's all about your heart and blood pressure and stress on all the other organs in your body. Also, it allows for your lower extremities, like your toes and your feet, to receive the blood flow that they need to receive. Remember, if your blood sugar is too high, if your A1C is too high, you're putting a tremendous amount of stress on your heart, because it's not just sugar in your body, it's sugar in your blood. And what happens when you add sugar to your blood? It thickens your blood. So now all of a sudden your heart is working a lot harder. And the harder your heart works, the shorter your life expectancy will be. You're only given a certain number of heartbeats in this lifetime. From what I've read statistically, it's anywhere from 2.5 to 3 billion heartbeats. So if you smoke, you're using up heartbeats, because your heart has to pump harder in order to displace the oxygen that's in your lungs. So if you smoke weed, if you vape, if you drink alcohol, your heart has to work harder in order to help your liver and your kidneys process the alcohol that you've just consumed. So you want to avoid lifestyle activities that are using up heartbeats, especially smoking. Smoking is if you can quit smoking and quit drinking and lose weight. Typically, people that are overweight are going to use a lot more heartbeats. Your heart's working an awful lot to pump blood through all of that excess weight that you're carrying. So if you're overweight, if you smoke weed, if you vape, you're putting a tremendous amount of stress on your heart. And if you're a diabetic too, it's just going to make things much more complicated. Diabetes may not kill you, but it probably will have an effect on your quality of life. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. But you do not want to be out here with a diabetic stroke because your A1C is hovering at around 10, 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5, 13, 13.5. I've met people with A1Cs as high as 14.5. And they are also on blood pressure medication, and they're not taking that the way they should be. And it's incredibly important that you follow the instructions that your primary care gives you when taking the prescription medication that you've been given or prescribed. If you fail to take I just did a consultation with a young man who decided not to take his blood pressure medication anymore. An A1C that was incredibly high, way beyond 12.5, decided not to take his blood pressure medication anymore. I mean, he's 37, 38 years old. He could have a diabetic stroke. And if he has a diabetic stroke, that's going to be difficult to recover from. You're going to need a primary care personal, someone to take care of you, who's going to be your primary caregiver. Basically, you're going to have to go through possibly weeks and weeks of physical therapy, rehabilitation. And let's not talk about the medical costs involved. Diabetic stroke is going to be expensive, and it could possibly bankrupt you. So these are the things that you want to think about and take serious if you're going to be someone who has to deal on a daily basis with diabetes. So once again, thank you for listening to this video. I'm working on putting together a podcast, a diabetes podcast in the future. So I'm going to start with YouTube, and please become a subscriber and share these videos with friends that you know have diabetes, and check out the website, decoaa1c.com. And if you'd like help with your diabetes, give us a call and we'll provide you with the consultation. It only takes about 25 or 30 minutes. About half the information is on the website in order to kind of give you some information about what diabetes is all about. It's pretty black and white for the most part, but it's amazing how little information most diabetics have when it comes to their diabetes. So catch up with you later, and thank you very much.